this episode, Tyler, Dude, and JD sit down to talk about their new year so far while dipping into the new Cask Strength offerings from Middle West Spirits. Tune in for all the fun on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. Have you thought about supporting our podcast? Head on over to our website at www.bourbonhunters.com where you can by picking up one of our Kinsey drams or ordering a fancy bourbon shirt. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I'm Dude Poole, and I'm joined by
Tyler Schaefer,
Fritters, and Fritter Tits. I don't know if you guys caught the belch right as I hit record or just the laughter, but if you got both, then you know why we're laughing. If you didn't, then that's why we're laughing. So thank you, Tyler, for that. Your timing is always impeccable.
I didn't burp.
That was you?
That was me.
Fucking Fritter Tits? I thought for sure it was Tyler with his shenanigans.
No.
So we're, I think, at a record here. We've got Tyler for like 6 episodes in a row now, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
You're awfully proud of that burp. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right, so tonight, guys, we are going to jump into the land of Middle West spirits. We've got the straight wheat whiskey cask strength, the straight rye whiskey cask strength, and the straight bourbon, which is a 4-grain. I think all of them are 4 grains to some degree, right? Could be wrong, but I think so. I'm pretty sure the rye is 4 grain, and I'm pretty sure their bourbon is 4 grain.
Pretty sure?
I know their bourbon is 4 grain. All right, so let us talk, guys. What have you been up to? It's a new year. It's a new you. What's happening? Good talk. All right.
I went to Brewdog for dinner last night.
Yeah?
I'm excited to get back to work.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why so?
Just watching my kids a lot for 2 weeks.
That can be wearing.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
really.
solo a lot of it, too.
Solo dolo?
Solo dolo.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to give them back.
So we've got the rye whiskey. What is the cask, or 125.3?
That's correct.
Oh, God, I'm good.
Batch 001.
Batch 001. It's America's first dark pumpernickel rye whiskey. This signature spirit is distilled from dark pumpernickel rye. Non-GMO, open pollinated yellow corn, soft red winter wheat, and 2-row barley create the unique 4-grain rye. So it is a 4-grain, as I mentioned. We are drinking something that has a minimum maturation time of 4 years. And this is, I'm not looking at the cask one here, so that's the problem. But either way, I would imagine it can't be less than 4 years either. I must have gone right past the... Anyway, so let's go ahead and tell us about your Brewdog adventure.
My first time, I didn't know they actually had like a hotel there too, where you could like spend the night and stay.
Very dog friendly as well.
Yeah, very dog friendly. Saw a dog park. Wish I had my dogs with me, but it was pretty cold, so I'm glad we didn't. Walked inside. They have this little like museum set up where you can kind of see a whole bunch about the company IPA and see a whole bunch of bottles from over the years of different craft brews. It was interesting. You could smell hops in jars.
Are you a big beer guy?
No. My buddy Eric is, and so we went and met Eric and Megan, his wife, for
Nice.
dinner, and he ordered the IPA that I drank for me.
Nice.
Got a Hazy Jane. It's a hazy
God, I
IPA.
can't-
I'm just not an IPA guy.
Well, it's just so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
This was
So-
7.5%.
I get a fucking
bread,
headache.
like you're
every
eating bread, basically, liquid
Yeah.
bread.
You get a headache. I get a fucking headache after like 1. I can't eat on it.
I
Like
know.
it's
I'm the
just.
same way.
So the wife got, it's called Elvis.
Oh, Elvis juice. Yes,
Yeah.
that is great.
And it's a grapefruit beer.
Very tasty.
Yeah. I've had that before. It's not bad.
And I walked home and we bought a 6-pack of that, and we bought a 6-pack of their Wingman. The Wingman is a tropical, fruity flavored IPA.
Okay.
9%.
Okay.
So back to the rye whiskey. It is, as I mentioned, dark pumpernickel rye, non-GMO, open pollinated yellow corn, Ohio soft red winter wheat, and 2-row barley. So it is a 4 grain. What do you guys get on the nose?
Maybe not a traditional rye nose.
I get like a sugary molasses. Sugar's been constant with me today.
It does seem to have like a rich nose. Definitely one that I don't know that I would say typically has.
You ever chew?
I get mint. Do
Yeah,
you get mint?
You ever chew Winterfresh gum?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It was kind of like how Winterfresh would feel in your mouth.
Mint is never a note that I can typically pick up on.
Are you getting it on this?
I get winter
No.
gum.
You're not getting it?
No.
So this just goes along with that same...
Yeah. And I'm the one that oddly likes mint and a lot of food flavors, and you do not, correct? You're not like a mint chocolate chip person.
I
Andy's mint.
don't dislike mint. I just don't like it with my chocolate.
I freaking love mint chocolate chip ice cream.
I like mint with like candies and gum and stuff like that. I do not like it with chocolate or desserty type stuff.
So not like Andy's mints at the end of the Olive Garden meal.
No, not a big fan of those.
Interesting.
I get like a maple note on this as well.
Maple. So you guys both had German food New Year's Day.
Yeah, sure did, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you?
No. Well, no. I kind of did, but no. My mother-in-law, she did make a kielbasa appetizer, which was really, really good. There's no kraut.
No kraut.
There's no kraut. I do not like kraut.
What?
I do not like sauerkraut. Try to convince her to make a kielbasa sauerkraut beer cheese dip for the games, but she did not. But I did my cheesecake pan sliders, which were fucking phenomenal. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So, you know how, can you fucking get Clyde over there to fucking knock it off?
He's a dog.
All right.
I know. It's just echoing in my ear. I don't know why my mic's just picking this up. But anyway.
For the love of God!
So you know how Hawaiian rolls, they have the party pack, the slider buns.
Yeah.
You take that, you cut it in half.
Oh, yeah, like dude does with his Hawaiian pineapple
Yep.
pork.
So I did that, but
So good.
cheesecake. Or cheesesteak, sorry. Super simple.
What kind of
fucking-
steak?
Usually at any grocery store, they have like shaved ribeye. So I just did that with an AP seasoning.
Okay.
Grilled that up. I did onions and green peppers first. Threw that on there.
No mushroom?
No mushrooms. Would have been a great, but I know a lot of people can give or take that. So I always do provolone on the bottom, the cheesecake down, or the cheesesteak. Jesus fucking Christ. Why do I keep saying cheesesteak or cake? I have Tourette's.
Great podcast material.
I did not mix the peppers and onions in with it. So I did the peppers and onions on top, and then I do mozzarella, and then I do the buns on top, the other side of the buns. And then I did take a little bit of the seasoning and butter, melted them, and then kind of poured that over top. I also put in W sauce within the butter mix as well.
Worcestershire?
Yeah, which gives it a little bit of a...
He calls it W sauce because he
yeah,
can't say it.
Okay.
Worcestershire.
Winston Chestertonville?
Yes.
Was that a Scooby-Doo reference?
Big Daddy. No, yeah. Big Daddy reference.
Okay.
So that can give it a little bit of a richer
I always
taste to
put
it.
Worcestershire in my butter for my...
So it actually it calls for the recipe that I follow. It calls for like Dijon mustard, Worcestershire, some other seasonings. But I've found, and then you pour that over top, and then you kind of let everything sit for like overnight or a couple hours, and then you bake it. I've just found that it's very, very rich. Very rich. And I kind of just wanted like a pure cheesesteak flavor to it. So I will say, for whatever reason, this is the first time it's ever happened in my life that everything turned out a little too salty. And I don't know if I just was the combination of the cheese, the AP seasoning on the meat. I'd put a little salt when I was doing the grilling down the peppers and onions, and then also the sauce on top. But there's very little times where the salt doesn't really kind of like cook out, and this was one of them. And I was like, a little too salty, but leftovers it was fine. And then I also did a Supa Toscana, with gnocchi instead of potatoes, which was fucking incredible.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds
Did that in
really
the crock pot, which is great.
So, going to the Midwest Spirits site, the flavor profile for this particular release is aromas of light allspice, floral notes, toasted caramel, and vanilla. The baking spice, caraway seed, allspice, and mint. And then a long spiced finish ending with smoked oak. So, I get the mint on the flavor and the nose.
Yeah, getting the flavor too.
And it finishes long with the mint, in my opinion.
I do get the mint. I do.
I'm getting more of a maple note now that it's had time for air to hit it.
I'm waiting for it to kind of, pass through my palate and kind of relax for a second on my palate, and then I'm going to hit it again. But the mint is almost a little overpowering for me.
Yeah.
But, everything about it is good. It's a good, clean mint flavor. Everything tastes, good. But, like, if you go to the Four Roses profiles of the different yeast strains, for me, the one that is the most herbally, minty, and like earthy is my least favorite. I still like it, but it's my least favorite. So I'm guessing. Like I said, this isn't bad or anything, but I've had cask strengths from Midwest Spirits that I like better that are rye. But this is. You can tell it's a good, clean whiskey. It's a good distillate. It's a good product. It's just not my flavor profile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've had stuff, and we were talking about some stuff before this, that you can just tell it's a bad distillate out of the gates, and it just doesn't have a chance. This is, I think, going to vary on the cask and the casks that are used. So for me, this is not exactly my cup of tea, but everything about it is good. You can tell high quality.
It's really thick. Like the legs are hanging on the glass.
And it's got a good mouthfeel, good complexity to it. But for me, the mint's just a little overpowering. Now, if I leave this open for a little bit and I come back to it in a month, it might be something I really, really enjoy. If that mint kind of softens a little bit.
If you were to tell me this was an OE or OBSF, like Four Roses, I would believe you.
Correct.
Yeah, there's hints of it being a rye in here, but I would never bet the house on this being a rye. It drinks, and that second drink that I just had was much better than the first one. So that mint, either my palate's getting used to it, or that mint has kind of softened already in that little bit of time.
I really like this, especially the second sip.
Yeah, my second sip was much better than my first sip. Not that the first sip was bad. I explained, I think, I could tell it was a quality whiskey. It wasn't my taste profile right out of the gates, but this second sip was much better.
I got that Pepsid, reflux that Tyler talks about on the first sip, but after that it's quieted down.
Generally for me, that's when I get more of the ethanol vapors, and it just kind of won't go away, and that gives me that reflux. If I get it, that's generally, to me, what I feel like causes it. Do you guys kind of agree with that or no?
I agree with that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I didn't bring my water down here, did I?
The nose is getting better as it oxidizes.
I really like that. Yeah.
But the mint is staying through. It's almost like it's just draped over and you're just smelling it. It's in the room.
Yeah. It's not... It was overpowering at first. It's a little more subtle now to me. I'm not unliking.
It's almost like you ever mow over mint with a mower?
I have, yeah.
And you just kind of get that soft mint note. That's kind of like that now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I know Chef has a patch of mint out back behind his kitchen door, and I occasionally will nip a little bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this isn't bad. I now that I've actually had a chance for it to maybe open up a little bit and get my palate used to it, it's actually pretty soothing drink for me. You guys know how I'm not a big fan of rye. I don't feel like this is in your face rye. This has like you mentioned, it does kind of have a callback to like a Four Roses or something like that. That's on the the minty herbal side. But I like this.
Swish with it like mouthwash, you get like this juicy fruit.
You don't need to brush your teeth anymore?
Well, that too. But it's almost got this juicy fruit burst about it. Juicy fruit gum.
I know.
Yellow packaging. Tyler.
I knew what you meant.
I really like that. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Clyde, what do you think, buddy?
And I do not get any upchuck. What's the proof on that? Sorry?
125.3.
That's great. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It doesn't taste like 125.3, I'll tell you that. Like there's nothing in there telling me that it is, super high proof.
Yeah, well, if I know you're not a rye guy, but if you want to let me walk home with that, I'll take it.
You know me, I probably will never get to it just because I don't generally choose rye. You can take it.
Sweet.
It's fine with me.
It's all right.
It's all right.
All right. Let's move on. We're going to go to the wheat whiskey, the wheat cask strength. So Midwest Spirits did a release of their cask strengths. They've always done their barrel picks at cask strength, but they've decided to come out with a shelfer series that was available just, around I assume around the country. At least I got it here in Ohio, sent to me from them as a media sample. But this is their, attempt at going into a shelf version of their cask strengths. Now, we've always been big fans of their barrel picks. Now, these are batched, so they're not a barrel pick, but they are a batched version of that in a cask strength. So the next one here is their straight wheat whiskey. Do you want to pour those out for us, JD, while I look that one up? So the straight wheat whiskey, the proof on this one is 125.5, correct?
125.1.
Oh, 0.1. Oh. So it says our wheat whiskey utilizes soft red winter wheat from northern Ohio's clay-packed soil, which imparts a distinctive baking spice essence and showcases the wheat similar to a single malt, delivering a unique wheat whiskey experience. The minimum maturation time is 4 years. It does say 125.1 proof here. This is a mash bill of Ohio soft red winter wheat and 2-row barley, so it only is a dual mash bill. I don't know if it's 95.5 in favor of the wheat or if it's some other percentage that's just like, 85-15 or something like that. I don't know. Okay. So what do you guys get on the nose?
Banana bread.
I get banana-y kind of notes there.
I mean, it's like a delicious... I mean, this is like Grandma's banana nut bread.
Yeah, there's definitely like a bready type of presence too, so I could see that. And it's like a sweet bread or something.
Oh, so good.
Now, what did Minnick rate this? It was his highest wheat whiskey of the year, right?
Yeah.
But it was, in the grand scheme of things, it was like, what, in the 50s or something like that, I think?
I believe you're right with that.
Which is still pretty damn good.
I get like a raspberry compote.
On the nose or
on the nose?
Okay, still on the nose. So Tyler made some sliders, and you went to Brewdog.
Yep. And then for the first of the year, my wife and I went to Schmidt's. We always go on the first for their pork shank.
See, I used to go there, but they don't take reservations.
No.
So there's always a crazy ass line. So we just do reservations and go to Hofbrauhaus.
Nice.
Cheaper. They don't do the buffet. Does Schmidt still do the buffet?
No.
Okay. So neither one does the buffet anymore, but you do have a buffet salad bar at Hofbrauhaus, salad and soup bar. And then you did the same thing. I got a pork basically with came with German potato salad, it came with sauerkraut, and it came with cabbage.
Ours comes with mashed potatoes. I asked to add on a side of their German potato salad because I love that vinegar bitterness to it. But we started out with a bowl of potato soup as well.
Yeah, good. Nice.
And their cream puff is Stoff's coffee flavor right now, which was so freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge. So they had a tiramisu cream puff at.
You're not a cream puff fan?
No, I am. I'm not a coffee fan.
Oh, okay.
Just like coffee flavor. Tiramisu
Gotcha.
is like on the edge of me liking it.
He's a cream pie fan.
So funny you say that. All the kids at the table with us kept saying cream pie. And then they didn't realize what they were saying. They thought they were saying cream puff. And then my oldest son realized that they were saying cream pie. And he was like, he started laughing. Then the whole table just started laughing. And I was just sitting there and shaking my head the entire time. And then when they realized, I knew what I wasn't going to say anything. And anyway, it was pretty funny. Because one of them actually said, "Oh, I love cream pies. These are, and I'm just like, oh, God. Here we go."
Yep.
So, anyhow.
That's amazing.
All right,
Freaking weekend at Bernie's at lunch.
Yeah, let's dive into this.
It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Definitely a little hot on the front side, but
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
It's got a... So I've never really been a wheat whiskey fan. Like, not fan. That's not the way to say it. I've never been a guy that goes and says, "Oh, hey, can I get that wheat whiskey?"
Right.
But I feel like every time I have wheat whiskey, I really enjoy it. And like Old Elk, for example, when we get their wheat whiskey that they would give us, anytime we've had a Cask Strength Middle West wheat whiskey or a regular wheat whiskey, I just tend to like them. And this is no exception. This is really good. I'm trying to figure out what it is I'm getting on the palate, but the nose was really good. I think you guys pretty much pinpointed that. What are you getting on the palate, JD?
There's a little bit of nuttiness to it. Like an almond butter. Not like peanut butter, but like
like a marzipan?
like a marzipan, yeah.
Marzipan. I mixed
Like almond
mascarpone
cookie dough, mascarpone. Yeah.
and
That's
marzipan.
that's the filling for cannolis.
Yeah,
Mascarpone.
it's that cream. But you know what that's made from? Generally, it's ricotta cheese.
Ooh, I like ricotta.
ricotta.
Yeah, I'm going to take another little sip of this, see what happens when I...
There's a berryness to it.
You're right. I think, Tyler, about the front of it being a little hot. I swished it in my mouth a little bit just to get a little bit more flavor and hitting all the parts of the flavor holes in my mouth. And I got...
Helps.
It does. I got a little bit of a fruitiness in there somewhere. But I think that made me feel the heat on it a little bit more.
Well, young wheat will be hotter.
I mean, this isn't super young. It's at least 4 years old.
At least.
At least. It said minimum maturation of 4 years.
Yeah.
Like most antiques are aged about 6.5 years.
Most antique what?
OWA. They're aged about 6 years old.
Well,
Just as a
you could have been
comparison.
speaking about Buffalo Trace Antique. Buffalo Trace Antique.
Oh,
collection.
sorry.
Yeah.
Nope, just their red label Weller antique.
Yeah. All right. So this is Ohio-made American white oak barrels is what it's aged into. So it's proudly from the Middle West.
Proudly.
Not
So
to be
would
confused
that
with the
mean-
Middle East.
Would that mean it came from Speyside?
It could. Did it say Ohio or did it say Northern Ohio? It just said Ohio made. So yeah, that's the one in Chillicothe or near Chillicothe, right? Or is it Vinton County or something like that?
Vinton County.
All right, I'm going to take one more drink of this, and then we're going to move on to the Bourbon. Yeah, I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. That's pretty damn tasty.
It is. I'll take the rye though.
You're more than welcome to.
It coats the mouth really well.
Yeah, it does. I think all of these so far have had a great mouth experience. They've coated the tongue really well. They linger on the tongue. They finish medium to medium long, in my opinion.
It's usually how I finish.
That's what she said. All right, so our giggle pours are due up for another round here, Mr. Giggle Man.
Alrighty, we're gonna do the bourbon.
You notice he hasn't been giggling nearly as much with these pours.
Yeah.
I think those three right there are clean. Was that the actual noise or your mouth?
That was the bottle.
No, that was me.
Oh, was it?
Swear to God.
I thought it sounded like a
Was
mouth
it?
noise.
Was it at the same
Yes.
time?
It was the exact same time I pulled the cork out.
That's incredible.
I was like, that's why I thought he did it with his mouth because it sounded like a mouth noise. And I
That's
was like,
incredible.
He would know how to time that up. You wouldn't. You just got lucky.
That's how good is that? That's nice.
Impressive.
That's
Impressive.
So where should we go for dinner? Oh, before we get into dinner, do you guys ever do? I mean, we didn't really. I know I texted you this, but you didn't really comment too much on this. You guys ever do after Christmas shopping?
Yeah, you get gift cards and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I always
tell us about your experience that you've had.
I always know that there's some pretty good deals after Christmas, and obviously retailers are trying to get rid of their holiday stock. So they do some deals. I got, I think, 2 things that I had duplicates of and just went to go take them back. I went to Dick's because that's where they were from. I didn't have a receipt, and I just figured that I would, the tags were still on. They'd give me store credit, except for the fact that I went in there and they're like, yeah, we can give you it was like $140 MSRP worth the stuff. And they're like, yeah, we can give you $20. I was like, that's absurd. I'll go get the receipts. So,
Wait, $20
$20. They're like, we can give you $20. And I'm like, that's
For what?
The 2 items that I had. And it was $140.
How did they come up with $20?
Just whatever in their system was like, yeah, we can. And I was
Generally, what places do, and I can't imagine that this place would have ever sold for that price, is they'll take the sale price, the lowest sell price. If you don't have your receipt, the way they'll do it is they'll give you credit, usually in a store credit, of the lowest price it's sold for in the last 6 months.
That's
That's insane.
ridiculous.
That means it would have sold for $10.
But here's the thing, and I'm wondering that because everything was on sale the day I went in, I didn't realize this, but I went in and everything in the entire store pretty much was 50% off. So I'm like, are they going off of today's prices? Because that's insane. So I went.
It's not insane if you went in and bought it today and then tried to return it later on that day to get full price.
Understood. So I actually did get the receipts, and it turns out whoever the individual that got them for me, they were all on sale. So I only got $65.
But that's a huge difference.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went back the next day, everything was 75% off. And I was like, holy fuck. But the store was picked pretty fucking clean. The lines were insanely long. But I ended up getting 5 things for $55 fucking dollars that it should have been way, way more.
Let me ask you a serious question. You ready?
Yeah.
You got 5 things?
5 things.
How many of those things were golf related?
2.
Oh.
too.
Surprising.
All right, serious follow-up question.
Mine was serious as well.
How many of those things were for Jillian?
0. They were my fucking Christmas presents.
Right.
I'm not gonna. Someone else asked me that too, and I was telling them like, did you get anything for your family?" I'm like, "No, they were my like one. My kids got a lot of stuff. 2,
Yeah.
Jillian doesn't wear a lot of
Sporty like,
stuff, and when she does, she wants to wear like Lulu. She doesn't, want
She
to
might
wear
wear the Carrie Underwood brand, which they carry.
the Dixit Players actually has a great selection for women.
No, I know. They have the Carrie Wood. They have a whole section on the Carrie Underwood stuff.
Yeah, but I was just like, no. And I don't know her sizes and anything, so I'm not going to be like, hey, it's 75% off. I'm going to just fucking start guessing and buying you stuff.
Right.
No. So now everything was picked pretty clean, so there wasn't a ton of sizes available. And just really anything available. So, because I went, when I went the day before, whatever brand is the VSRT or VRST, it's solid. They used to be much cheaper. Now they're more expensive.
Yeah.
Like they had, it was 50% off, but they had a whole fucking rack. When I went back the next day and it was 75% off, they had one color and like 3 sizes.
A nice rack?
Yeah. I did get a pair though.
Racks usually come in pairs.
$90 golf pants for $22.
That's like a sore penis.
Can't beat it.
It's hard to beat.
Hard to beat. Yeah.
Soft penis you can't beat.
Yeah.
Sore penis.
Ooh, the nose on this is great. This is butterscotch.
This is the best. This is the best nose of the bunch.
This is butterscotch pudding all day.
Butterscotch?
See, I'm getting really strong hints of vanilla.
Butterscotch for me.
I'm not getting any vanilla, to be honest, which is interesting.
You getting butterscotch?
I'm getting butterscotch.
Oh, when's the last time you had butterscotch pudding?
I don't think I've ever had
It's my
butterscotch pudding.
favorite pudding.
So I bought a bag of coffee from Stoff's when we were there.
Outside of banana pudding, sorry.
We stopped by Stoff's after we left Schmidt's, and I bought a bag of coffee because
German Village Schmitz?
Yes.
Okay.
And then so we stopped by the Stoff's right there by German Village off of High, and we got a pound of snow blind beans, which are vanilla pudding, and they're
nice.
fantastic.
I didn't mean German Village Schmitz. I meant German Village
Stoff's.
So real quick, our 4 grand bourbon is crafted from non-GMO yellow corn, soft red winter wheat, 2-row barley, and dark pumpernickel rye. Rye and wheat are not commonly used together in bourbons because they can be difficult flavors to balance. Middle West's unique use of dark pumpernickel rye brings a soft spiciness that balances well with the baking spice essence of the wheat for a nice finish without overwhelming the caramel notes from corn. The aroma profile, so here you go, Tyler, you ready?
Yeah.
Aromas of caramel, toffee, and smoked butterscotch.
Smoked butterscotch. How do you come up with that? Like, who smokes butterscotch?
I don't know, but so you got butterscotch. Someone must have gotten like a smokiness, and they combined it. Smoked butterscotch. That just sounds elevated.
Yeah, but would you say a smoked butterscotch?
Could it
you would
be
say
that you don't know what a plethora is?
Or could, like some
You would
people
say
might
a
say
smoky-
it noses like Indian nutmeg. Like who says Indian nutmeg?
Listen, fritter tits. Every time you start to tell us your tasting profile, everyone has to buckle up for the ride.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone should understand, it would be you.
I understand.
All right, let's go into the palate and tell us what you guys get.
Great.
I get more of the butterscotch in the palate in a good way. And that smoke from the smoked butterscotch.
That's so good.
It's a little bit of oakiness. Dare I say tobacco or maybe leather? Probably leather.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
This is good.
Finish is long.
Yes.
It's a good finish. But what they mention is a good balance of all the flavors. It does have that balance. I agree with that.
The proof comes through, too. It's not overwhelming, but it shows up.
It doesn't come through like the wheat whiskey. But I agree. It comes through. And what's interesting to me is I don't guess it's not interesting because if I had to guess, this is where I would go. I think the bourbon is my favorite, followed by the wheat, followed by the rye.
Bourbon's my favorite, and then the rye, and then the wheat.
So you like the rye better than the wheat?
Yep.
So you get past that mint, or at least you embrace the mint enough that it's number 2 for you?
Yeah.
So who does number 2 work for? The rye?
Works for the dark pumpernickel rye.
All right, fair enough.
My brother can suck a fat one with all these pictures from Hawaii.
That might be what he's doing in Hawaii.
No, his family's there. His wife, too.
Doesn't mean he doesn't get some alone time with some guy with a fatty.
He lives there now.
See, that's what I'm saying. Where does he live?
On the island.
There's 5 of them.
The one with the army base. The big
Honolulu?
one. Yeah. The big one.
So he lives on
Not Maui.
actual, isn't it Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Is that, no, it's not, that's not the, I don't think Hawaii is the one with the island on it.
They're all islands.
Yes, thanks. I meant the one at the base with Honolulu. What's the one with Honolulu? Damn it. I don't think that's,
I know, but he changed his driver's license. Tyler, you'll appreciate this. He finally relieved himself of the Michigan driver's license.
he relieved himself.
And
Hopefully-
on his license.
Hopefully, I was going to say hopefully on his driver's license. That would be the
Who is
best.
this?
He's my brother. He's the one in the Army. He's a big Maize and Blue fan. Kind of
You lost me.
intolerable at
Yeah,
times
Hawaii
on Saturday.
is the big island.
Okay, yeah, he's on Hawaii.
Maui, then there's Lanai, Molokai, Oahu is
Oahu, yes.
Oahu is Honolulu.
That's a
Have you talked
vacation
to, Have you talked
destination.
to dude on OSU game day? Just start
I'm not.
texting
I'm
him
not
about-
in that group chat.
You start texting him about the game.
He,
I might next in the 2 weeks when Penn State
for
gets
whatever
their
reason,
rematch.
Tyler tends to think that I am a very biased Ohio State fan, and I'm not.
Tens.
I said you tend to think.
I think you are.
I'm not.
I
I am
think
very
you are.
level-headed. I call out when Ohio State gets away with shit. I call out when Ohio State is guilty. Like, who's the one who's blind as fuck in our group? Jeff.
I don't think so.
Oh
I
my
think-
God! There's plenty of times when he's like, "Oh my God, that was a catch," and I'm like, "No, that hit the ground." Or, "Oh my God, that was an interception." No, that hit the ground. Or that was. I say that all the time.
So I watched the last game, and I just need to say that Smith is a freak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He is
he's a-
hands down the best wide receiver I've seen in a very long time
You
in college
do.
football.
You have been listening to the analysts who
over
have saying,
Devontae Smith.
Yes.
"Oh yes,
He's way better than Devontae Smith
yes,
was.
he is." Devontae Smith was just very elusive in open field. When he got the ball in open field, you could not get him. That's where he shined.
He hits speed, whereas Smith has route running. Like
And but he's fast as shit.
he's
too.
really fast too. But
But he's straight away
a
fast more than he's
freshman.
quick.
He's
Yeah.
a freshman.
He's straight away fast though more than he's quick. Have you not been listening to the analysts recent?
No, I
who have
agree.
all been talking about how much Oregon was not called for holding?
No, I have not.
There have
heard
been a
any of this.
whole bunch of people who have called them out. Who they're like, and Ohio's streak of not getting a call for
I
holding
do-
in their favor continues. Like they've all been talking about that.
I do know that. I do know that.
They haven't had a call of holding against them since the Big Ten season started. It was like since game 2 or something like that. They haven't had a holding call go in their favor while they were on defense.
Yeah.
Not one. That is absurd. That is against statistical
Yeah,
probability.
it's like Purdue and Zach Edey.
But the receiving core, the receiving core that Ohio State has right now currently rivals that of Henry Ruggs, Jamison Williams, and Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're fantastic.
And
They're the best receiving core in college football.
this
Yeah.
year for sure. There's no doubt that this year they are the best. I would argue that they may not be the best tandem of all. Like Burrow had a great tandem when he was at LSU. Alabama's had a few over the years that have come together at the same time. Florida State has had
good
a
receivers in Oklahoma.
So has Texas when McCoy was there.
Mm-hmm.
And listen,
Clemson.
there's been some great receiving duos out there.
Well, even OSU a couple of years back.
Oh, yeah, right.
Smith,
Garrett
Njigba.
Wilson, Marvin Harrison, and Jigba. Yeah, like you're right.
Well, it's crazy. Is like Marvin Harrison Jr. literally a year ago was
Smith is
considered
better.
the fucking best wide receiver. Like many OSU fans thought he was the best fucking.
Well, Smith
wide
is better
receiver,
than
and
him
it's like,
already.
yeah, Yeah, but it's just a
Well,
year
you gotta
later,
remember,
and it's like
The
wow.
year that the Harrison made his debut was in the Utah game in the Rose Bowl.
Turn my thing down. I'm hot. My ears are burning.
Yeah, you are.
That's probably just syphilis in your ears.
Yeah.
But the game that Harrison made his big splash was against Utah in the Rose Bowl when I think it was Garrett Wilson maybe that declared or opted out of the game.
Yeah.
And
By the way, I thought he would have had a better rookie year. He had a solid rookie year, but Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got a midget.
they
thrown to
haven't
him.
thrown it to him.
Yeah.
If you look at how many targets he's had, Kyler Murray has not been throwing him the ball.
So back when Olave and Garrett Wilson came out for the NFL, I really thought that Garrett was going to be a better pro than Olave, but Olave is better than Garrett Wilson.
Well, but part of it's where they're at too. I think
they're comparable.
Well,
quarterbacks.
Wilson's at the Jets. Olave
New
was
Orleans Saints.
New Orleans, and it's like, nah.
They have Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, I mean you're right. Now the other one is McLaurin.
Guess
McLaurin
Terry McLaurin
had an amazing year last year, and then
Jaden
now
Daniels.
when Jaden Daniels is there, he's barely throwing it to him too. I lost my most. I was going to win our
fantasy
league, but you're not.
That's
knowing what
mine.
you're
That's
doing.
mine.
I don't know, but you're fucking hot, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've been working out. My stuff isn't going nearly as high as yours is, so just let me.
You just
deal with
turned
the shit.
mine way down.
Turn my fucking actual.
Here we go.
earphones
Okay.
down.
I will turn your earphones down, and
Which
you will
one
like
is it?
I just got
There
it.
you go. There you go.
I got it.
There you go.
But
Have you
anyways,
seen my baseball?
yeah.
So
But anyway, McLaurin got me 1 point in my last week because they only threw him the ball one time. He had one reception for 5 yards,
That's crazy.
and I was so irritated. I was poised to win.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me any question you want.
How much do you think, with all the money being thrown around, Vegas has a footprint into how certain players do? Do you think they have anything?
I don't. I think all of these athletes are.
But dude, here.
I think you might see results of a game that are possibly influenced by that. But these athletes are such competitors at that level. There's no way they're throwing games for. They get so much money as it is. There's no way they're throwing games to get an extra couple $1,000s on a bet. That's just not happening. Referees, on the other hand, they might be. They might be affecting the outcome of a game. Calling a hold after a touchdown to make sure they go back into field goal position so that they stay within the thread.
Seeing referee influence.
So
bias.
that part I could see happening. Yes.
So to your point, I would disagree with two things you've just said.
Okay.
Terry McLaurin has had 105 targets and he's caught 75 passes of those for 1,000 yards, 1,034 yards and 12 TDs. So
I don't think you're taking what I said.
What was his
Wrong.
target total in the last game?
That's all I brought up.
yes, but you said
I started
hey,
him in my last game because he's been getting me points.
Yeah, but he
did have games where he was only getting 1 or 2 targets.
He's had 105.
Okay. So that tells you how many targets he got in the other games. There were plenty of games this year where he only got targeted a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm telling you that right now.
20 another game.
I
or
guarantee
something?
you that I know way more about this than you do. They play 18 games.
He's a top 17 wide receiver.
Yeah, but most number one
I never
receivers,
said he wasn't. That's why he's on my team.
most number one receivers get 150 looks a year.
Yes.
No, they
yeah.
don't.
Oh, yeah. Number one receivers, they get 150 targets a year.
You know how many 150 target plus there are this year? 3.
Really?
3.
Oh, okay.
Hey, that's more than 0.
But he's saying most one receivers. So that
I would say in previous years that's
32
pretty accurate.
32 teams.
There's 18 games this year, or 18 weeks,
18 weeks.
17 games, right?
Mhm.
So he's not even averaging 10 targets a game. That's insane. Not even close.
There aren't many. He is.
If a quarterback's throwing the ball
he is
35
down
times and they're not throwing it to their wide receiver one,
He
a
is-
third of those times, that's insane.
He is down the list as far as targets go.
Okay.
He is down
All
the
I said
list.
was my last game I was poised to win, and I lost because he got 1 target.
Yes, but you should look at the actual receptions. And when it comes to actual receptions,
I was playing him because of his fucking
he's still
receptions.
down there too, but
That's why he was getting touchdowns and
yards.
receptions and yards, and that's why I was playing him.
Yeah.
Caleb
I'm
Williams.
saying it's a huge drop for him from last year. Is all I said. It is a huge drop for him from last year.
He's also 12 in TDs, which is he's second in the country in TDs, which is all you should really care about.
That's why he was starting on my team. I don't understand what the confusion is here. I'm pissed off about the last week.
Yeah.
He got
also,
one target last week.
Marvin Harrison Jr. has been targeted 110 times, but he's only caught 57 passes, which is shit.
Now,
that's Kyler Murray.
But
to be fair,
Yeah,
I will
don't
say
know the
that
story
the
of that.
Kyler Murray, to be counted as a target, how many of those were 10 feet over his head?
Yeah, I have no idea.
How many of those were at his feet?
Kyler
Yeah, I have
Murray's
no idea.
better at targeting enemies at Call of Duty than he is as wide receivers.
So, but Harrison Jr. still does have.
We were 3 points away.
He's 37th
one
in the
week.
country.
Yes.
Or in the NFL,
We would have split it, and it was
in yards.
$1,400.
which is still pretty good.
Stop it.
It's not bad.
We would have been $350 apiece. So, and you know what happened, right? They got the kickoff, or the other team got the kickoff. They shut them down in overtime, and all they needed was a field goal. 3 plays, they had -7 yards. And then the Eagles scored 33 earlier. I was like, fuck, seriously? It was like $1,440. You would have gotten 350, I would have gotten 350, and then
The Eagles.
Dan would have gotten the 700.
Can we just talk about St. Brown? The fact that he's been targeted 134 times, which is 9th in the NFL. And
Wait, hold on. 9th in the NFL at 134 targets.
So my comment's pretty relevant.
Right. So there's 8 people that are close to 150 targets above him. You said there were 3
No.
that had 150.
There are 3
Yes.
above 150.
Right, but
Yes.
but between 150, there's 5 more that are only 16 shots.
I was just using a round number for
or less.
wide receiver
Yeah.
ones.
So
but there's only 9 there.
hot
Wide
take
receiver
Tyler.
ones-
That's what we call him.
No, wide
Hot take
receiver
Tyler.
ones would be one on every single team. So you go down
Amon-Ra.
32. You go down
Justin
32.
Jefferson.
There
My
are
point is
32
there
at
are 9
100.
people circling 150 out of 32 teams. 134 is
I would
fucking
say
close.
circling. You
hey,
realize
guess what? There's 1
16
week
off?
left in the season. They might get to 150 this
We'll
week.
see. That's pretty fucking off.
Bengals are about to get shafted
Why?
because the Chiefs are benching their starters. They need the Broncos to lose to get into the playoffs.
Why wouldn't they bench their starters?
I'm
already got the bye and
I
they've
know.
got
I'm
the
just
first
saying,
place
the
wrapped up.
Bengals need the win, and the Broncos
Okay,
need
let's
the.
go
That
back
doesn't
to
mean
what
the
I was
Broncos are
lose.
going to win.
I know.
But St. Brown has caught 109 of 134 passes. That's fucking unreal.
Yeah, sure. What's the point?
No one else is really even fucking close.
What's Justin Jefferson?
You're talking about the percentage of receptions to targets?
He is 100 for at 145.
That's close. You said no one else is close. That's close.
Not fucking really. It's a fucking 20 point
Ratio
spread.
different.
20 points, Brad?
Yes, it's 10 one way and fucking 10 the other. It's a 20-point spread.
How about is Tyreek Hill on that list?
It's not a 20-point spread.
Tyreek Hill,
He's having
yes,
a bad year.
He has caught 79
It's like a
passes
6%
on
difference.
120. So there's 40.
Since his getting pulled over, he's been pretty bad.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. Well, not the
Tua-
week of. The week
Tua's
of, he had a
phenomenal.
great game.
Yeah,
Tua's
When he
out
got
for-
when he got to the stadium after that, he had a hell of a game.
his year has been a hawk Tua.
Honestly, Smith and Jigba
Hey, don't laugh at
is
your own
96
joke.
for 132. So
That's
that's
not
pretty
horrible.
fucking good
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's 2. That's 3/4.
I'm kind of like Dane Cook.
Are you laughing at your own jokes?
Terry McBride is also pretty good. 130.
Yeah, I have
he's
him as well. And he had a
104
shit
for
week this last week as well.
104 for 136. That's pretty fucking good too.
Yeah, I have him as well.
Yeah. And Brock Bowers is having an unreal fucking rookie year.
Well, he's from Georgia, right?
Yeah. But he's such a klutz that I'm like,
I know. I don't understand. Stover is such a better athlete than him, but Brock Bowers is such a freaking just male specimen. That he's like he could be the next Gronk if he was actually coordinated.
So I think the Falcons misuse Kyle Pitts. He should do a whole lot more than he does.
Yeah.
Did we all say that the bourbon is our favorite on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said, JD, the rye was your favorite, and then
Yeah.
you said the wheat whiskey was your second favorite?
No, wheat whiskey's my least favorite.
Oh, it is your least favorite?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
my least favorite.
You said you
By
really
far.
liked it. That's why I was wondering.
No, the bourbon I really like.
Bourbon's my
But you
number
also
one.
said you really liked the wheat whiskey.
I really like it, but of the three, it's my least favorite.
Okay, so you like the rye even better than that.
Oh,
Rye's number one.
Rye's your number one at this whole group?
Yeah.
okay.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yesterday's mashup was a synopsis of our hangout with Anthony.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, just to let you know.
I'll have to listen to that. That's good. He
Did he enjoy it?
Yeah, he had a great time.
No, I'm glad he came, too.
He wants
was
to
a nice
do
guy.
a collab episode eventually.
That'd be fun,
like
yeah.
we did with the Black and Brown.
That was fun. I really enjoyed the fact that he came. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I liked
And then
him.
Speaking
he
of the
came for the
Black and
pick
Brown.
at Pursuit, too.
We need to have them back on.
We never had them on.
They had us. They had Dude and Brett on.
That's what I mean. We need to have them back on.
We haven't had them on before to have them back again.
They don't want to get canceled, guys.
No, that was pretty funny.
Can we do we need to get some lapel mics and do a golfing episode with them.
If it wasn't winter.
Let's do springtime. Where are they all located?
Well, I don't know if they're all there, but they're in the Charlotte area.
Oh, Black and Brown likes to golf?
Yeah, they
Yes, they're big time golfers.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. Let's go down to Charlotte. Well,
do. You can pull some strings, get us on a nice course.
I mean, I've got connections in South Carolina.
I thought
But
you had
That's
a
not that far from
connection
Charlotte. Charlotte's close to South Carolina.
I've got a lot of connection in South Carolina.
How close to South Carolina? Like how close to Charlotte and how close to North Carolina?
Rye's my favorite for sure.
I'd have to map that out. I think it'd probably be within an hour and a half.
Well, maybe they come down for a weekend. We do a little bourbon golf outing or
Champions?
whiskey.
Go over to Champions?
That'd be fun. Champions what?
In Augusta.
Champions Retreat down in Georgia.
Yeah.
Arcus owns that.
Podcast and Pars.
Podcasts and Pars, I like it.
Let's do that.
We could have some podcast, like a podcasting golf outing.
I will absolutely be
Maybe we do that next year
1,000.
instead of our bourbon blitz,
Yeah.
or make that like we start the bourbon blitz Thursday, Friday, then go down and golf somewhere.
Hey, tell you what, if we do that down in Augusta,
You said
go to
do-do.
Do-do.
We need to plan either ASW trip or 13th Colony.
Sure.
While we're down there.
Yeah. We can make a golf outing out of this.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the primary.
That was kind of what he was just talking about.
Don't you fucking yell at me.
I don't think my voice raised.
I
at
just
all.
think that if we're going to go down to Champions Retreat for a golf thing, which I can definitely finagle, given that Arcus bought it.
You know what? Since you have clout,
Colossus.
What do you like to say? You always say it wrong.
The Cletus of Cloud.
Cletus. You could get us on to Augusta.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll call, what's her name, Condoleezza Rice.
you know
a
how
member.
impossible that is? Impossible.
Let's talk offline. I bet we can get there.
I bet we can't.
I bet we can.
Can our connections at the Black and Brown?
I don't know. He has maybe some sports connections. Maybe that's not a bad idea, but they probably wouldn't include us on that.
They would get on.
Yeah, they could probably get on through his connections. No, but anyway, guys, I think that's all we've really got. We're just kind of on fumes right now, so let's cut this off.
Cut you off.
Yeah.
So everyone's you're rye first.
Rye.
I'm
Rye.
bourbon first.
Bourbon.
You're bourbon first. Rye 2nd. I'm bourbon wheat rye. Your Tyler is rye bourbon wheat. Got it. All right. Well, a little bit of something for everybody. It sounds like at these Cask Strength offerings from Midwest Spirits. Check them out. They are in Columbus, Ohio. If you're in the Ohio area, you come to Columbus. Don't waste your time at any of the other distilleries. Go right over to Middle West. Go to the bottle shop, service bar, downtown Columbus. Get yourself a couple bottles. Get yourself some swag. They've got a nice little shop there. They also have a nice restaurant. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening, but if you don't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can better improve our show. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon. The Bourbon Hunters podcast has been craft distilled, produced, recorded, and edited by Dude Pool. For any questions, comments, or recommendations, please reach out to info@bourbonhunters.com